Hey guys, I hope all is well. Thank you for joining me for this Truth Talk episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Yo Gotti, the new gatekeeper in the industry. But before we begin, I just wanted to remind you guys to subscribe to my second channel, Truth Network, so you don't miss any new content. Thank you all. Now let's get right into it. In the music industry, there are a few people that can make or break your career. These chosen few have so much power and influence that with a few calls, they can turn an upcoming rapper into $1 million star. These people in the industry are commonly known as gatekeepers, people put in place by the elite to gatekeep and play as a middleman between the artist and the ones really running the show. Some known gatekeepers are P. Diddy, who is known for robbing his artists and also for being sus with them. Another well-known gatekeeper is Birdman, who is also known for robbing his artists and also for his sus ways. Jay-Z is another gatekeeper and probably one of the most obvious of them all. Then, there's the other gatekeepers that play the background, like the executive Lucien Grange, who runs Universal Music Group, basically the man who controls people like Drake and Kanye. There are a few other names in the industry who truly dictate who will be the next star. They're the ones who get the labels to put big money behind these artists and put them in a place to win. These gatekeepers usually earn their place by proving their value and alliance to the elite that run the industry. They religiously push the agenda set in place by the elite at any cost. They're also known for abusing their power and getting rid of those that oppose them. One man who is recently showing signs of being the next hip-hop gatekeeper is no other than Yo Gotti. Yo Gotti has been in the industry for years, first starting out back in the early 2000s when he was only 14, being a part of a group that was ran by DJ Sound. By January 2012, Gotti had accomplished his dreams. He was already signed to a major label and would release his first major label project, Live from the Kitchen. By 2013, Gotti had also become an executive when he signed a label deal with Epic Records for his CMG label. He would eventually switch labels, ending up under the Roc Nation umbrella. Over the years, Gotti would start signing many successful artists under his CMG umbrella. He signed Black Youngsta, 42 Dugg, Glorilla, and EST Gee, establishing himself as an upcoming executive with a lot of potential. This became even more evident with the success of EST Gee and Glorilla. Now, Gotti sits with the big dogs like Jay-Z and his billionaire friends. Gotti over the years has started to prepare himself to be an industry gatekeeper. Just like Jay-Z, Diddy, and Birdman, we're seeing Gotti show that he took the oath, and so did all the artists that he signs. Even though Gotti, unlike just about every other artist in the industry, doesn't show Masonic imagery, doesn't mean that he's not a Mason. See, in this video, you would soon see that all of Gotti's artists show Masonic imagery. Gotti is the gatekeeper who initiated these artists into the order, just like Jay-Z did to him. I can confidently say that Gotti's a Masonic puppet. I even found him promoting one of his past performances at a Detroit Masonic lodge. The Masons often have their Masonic puppets perform in their lodges. This is not a coincidence. This is how Gotti ended up signed to Roc Nation. And we already know if Jay-Z is involved, so are the Freemasons. Yo Gotti is the next chosen gatekeeper. This is why he was at the all-white party. Gotti was at this party standing next to Jay-Z and the other high-profile Masonic puppets. If we look at Gotti's actions in the music industry, it becomes even more evident he's already moving like a gatekeeper. The whole Yo Gotti versus Young Dolph situation showed the world that Gotti was starting to abuse his power. Everybody knows that Young Dolph and Gotti were not getting along, but what most people don't know is why. According to many sources online, and even Young Dolph himself said this, the beef was allegedly over a woman, but also over the fact that Dolph refused to sign to Gotti. This made Gotti upset, and this eventually led to this beef. The beef escalated to new levels when allegedly Yo Gotti had Black Youngsta and his crew spray up Young Dolph's truck with 100 rounds. Dolph was lucky enough to survive this attempt due to driving in an armored vehicle. Dolph had 2 attempts on him, and both were allegedly due to Yo Gotti. Unfortunately, he would eventually get taken out, and it is believed that Gotti was allegedly involved after it was reported that his brother had something to do with it. This is the same thing we saw with Diddy, who allegedly got rid of so many people he had problems with. This is how gatekeepers move. Gotti is proving his value by pushing the agenda through his music, and now the music of his artists. Just like Gotti, all of his artists had to take the oath, starting with Black Youngsta. In this picture, Black Youngsta could be seen doing a Masonic hand gesture, showing he's a Masonic puppet. If you want even more proof, he even named one of his albums Illuminati. We know when these artists talk about the Illuminati, they are referring to the Masonic order. What's interesting is that the intro song on this project exposes some very interesting information about why he called this album Illuminati. We know these artists that make it in the industry often have to make sacrifices to make it to the next level. Kanye himself admitted this when he revealed his own mother was a sacrifice for the industry. Black Youngsta also admitted the same thing in the intro song to his Illuminati project. On the intro song, Black Youngsta states, "And I named this project Illuminati because I feel like I sacrificed a lot of stuff to get here. I had to sacrifice a lot of friendships, a lot of family members, the lifestyle, the streets, the women, the dealing, the gang banging and stuff, you know? I had to stop that stuff, you know? And you know this is the toughest thing to sacrifice. People you've been with all your life, you know? And if you ever had to sacrifice something, welcome to the Illuminati." Openly, Black Youngsta admits that he called this album Illuminati because he had to sacrifice so much to get there, stating that he even had to sacrifice family members and friends. These are his own lyrics, admitting that he made it to this place of success by sacrificing. What's interesting is that recently, Black Youngsta lost his brother. It makes you wonder if this was a part of the sacrifices Black Youngsta was hinting at. I actually think I should look into this situation further, as Black Youngsta basically snitched on himself, revealing that something might have happened. If you guys want to see that, comment Black Youngsta below. It's obvious Black Youngsta took the oath when he signed to CMG, a label directly under Roc Nation. In this video, we can hear Black Youngsta talking about how if he was in the Illuminati, he would befriend his enemies just so that he can sacrifice them.
Tell me I joined Illuminati. Boy, if I joined Illuminati, I would be with everybody I don't like, so I can sacrifice y'all bitch ass. Ah! Bitch! Boy, if I joined Illuminati, you know, cause I would play cool with all you boys, all your kids, all your grandmamas. Yeah, I would squash all the bees. We all family now. I love y'all. Let's do it. Let's work it out. Sacrifice the whole family. Youngster, richer and richer. Let's do it. Give me some money for some of you. I got you.
As you heard for yourself, Youngsta made it clear he has no issues with sacrificing for success. It's especially strange when you see him losing family members. But in all reality, Black Youngsta is just doing what he's told by his boss, gatekeeper Yo Gotti. This is exactly what we saw with the rapper Glorilla. Glorilla blew up back in 2022 with her song F&F, and not long after, she was a full-on rap star with a massive fan base. Behind all of her instant success was no other than Yo Gotti, the new gatekeeper in the industry. In 1 year, he had Glorilla on top of the game, performing at the Grammys, even being nominated for a Grammy Award. Gotti even had Glorilla performing with Cardi B and other big artists, building up her fan base. Glorilla became a promising star in an unbelievable time frame, but how did she do it? The same way they all do it, by selling out and taking the oath. Not long after Glorilla was rising to new heights, before she was even invited to perform at the Grammys, she posted this photo showing that she had indeed taken the Masonic oath. And just a few days back, Glorilla made a post that exposes exactly what agenda is being pushed through her music. In this video, posted to her social media, Glorilla advises her young fans to be toxic in their 20s, telling them to do the very thing that would destroy their souls.
Hey ladies, how on you? When I'm gonna call my twin, and I just want to let y'all know, be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy. You're too old for that now. You too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you're delusional, up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do it one time.
As you heard for yourself, she advised her young fans to live their toxic 20s, telling them that they only live once, and this is exactly what the do-what-thou-will mentality is. This is why they gave her a career. They made her a star to push this destructive agenda. The latest artist to see success under the CMG umbrella is EST Gee. EST Gee, just like Glorilla, one day to the next started seeing massive amounts of success after signing to Yo Gotti CMG. Just like Glorilla and Black Youngsta, EST Gee often shows Masonic imagery. We can find photos of him doing the one-eye symbolism, but nothing proves his alliance more than this music video here. In EST Gee's music video for Make It Even, we see exactly who he serves and why he signed to CMG. The music video starts with EST Gee standing in the middle of a pentagram made out of money. He then draws a red cross on his head in red paint. Throughout the video, He can be seen inside of this pentagram made out of money with the red cross on his head. He also shows scenes of himself inside of a church looking demonic. We don't need more proof than this. EST Gee is a Masonic puppet who sold his soul. He is being used to push the same Masonic agenda the rest of Yo Gotti's artists are pushing. Gotti and his artists are in place just to push an agenda that is created to destroy the people in urban communities. These same artists that came from urban communities sell their souls for money and fame, allowing themselves to be used to destroy their own people. Black Youngsta promotes destruction and violence through his music, rapping about the evils of being a gangster and glamorizing it. And then you have Glorilla, who is literally telling her young female fans to be toxic. This is her message to the youth. EST Gee pushes the same gangster agenda as Black Youngsta, glamorizing a lifestyle that has destroyed so many. This is what CMG is about, and this is what they represent. This is why Yo Gotti is the new gatekeeper, because he is serving the elite well. So many young people are going to be misguided by the music CMG makes. CMG artists, and especially Gotti and Rock Nation, are gonna make hundreds of millions while more young people throw away their lives listening to this evil. People need to wake up and see what this music industry is about, controlling and guiding the masses. So don't be misguided. We must remember that every day we wake up, our souls are at stake. And we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. Well, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.